So to start my learning journey, I just wanted to take a second to say thank you for the wonderful quarter that I had. I really had a lot of fun working on our project and getting to see the real world applications of all of the work that we were putting in throughout the quarter come to life at the Vision Expo. I thought that was really cool. And I think it's something that I had taken for granted a lot throughout the quarter. I came into this class with very different expectations than what ended up happening. When I signed up for this class, I was coming into my final quarter and really pushing to make sure that I would graduate on time, which has been a big struggle. At the end of last year, coming into the summer, I realized I was a full quarter behind, and so I took a lot of summer classes, and then as things kind of panned out throughout my senior year, I ended up needing 6 classes in order to graduate, and this was a very last-minute addition. That being said, I'm very thankful that it was a last-minute addition, and it was something that I was able to take rather than leaving it by the wayside, because I had always wanted to take this class since getting into the management program, and I was really excited to see what it would be, and it did not meet my expectations at all. I thought that it would be a class analyzing and looking into the different steps that it takes to open up a small business and run it, rather than a full hands-on learning experience hosting an event and thinking a lot more about the theoretical side of things, rather than, the business side where you're filling out papers and learning how to get grants and seeing what paperwork you would need. And I think at first that caught me off guard. So at the start of our quarter, we were being extremely out there, just throwing out ideas. We weren't actually putting our hands into anything. And with me coming into the class with my preconceived notions, I was very, just caught off guard is the right way to say it. And I didn't fully believe in the course at the start. But as we walked through and we formed teams, I found a group, which was sales, that I could believe in and have something realistic to learn from and practice what I was expecting to learn on the ground floor. And I was really excited about that opportunity, and I tried my best to kind of take it and run with it. So as we worked through our idea and we came up with our initial concept of having this event at the green space in Fairhaven, that excited me because it would be outdoors, which is something I'm passionate about. And it was in a space that I was comfortable in, and that I had been to before, which I, as you're kind of well aware, I think, was advocating for this space throughout the start of the quarter in the first couple of classes. And once we secured that, I got a lot more excited. So something to note is I am very busy outside of this class. I had to attend class on my lunch break from work. So I would go to work from 7 a.m. until class started and then come to class. And thankfully, everybody was willing to allow me to leave a little bit early to get back into my job and go back. But in my off time, I was very dedicated to figuring out what businesses we could have, and I was trying my hardest to contribute to my group. That being said, I found a lot of challenges when I was looking through different businesses we could talk to in partnership with, and that was a big hurdle for me to get over, was the initial greeting of businesses. And I'm really thankful for our classmate, Emma, who volunteered, I guess. I helped Emma get excited about going out and talking to businesses because she's one of my good friends, and we kind of drug each other out there and just went and did it. And that was a big turning point in my quarter. Was I realized how much easier it was to go talk to people and talk to businesses than I initially had expected. People in Bellingham are very excited to work with Western, and I had not expected such a warm welcome from all of these different groups. So I think on our first day, we got something like 6 different, they were small, but 6 different sponsorships for the group. And I thought it was really interesting as we continued going on to see my group mates grow. I sent them a couple texts and I gave them some advice as to where we could maybe work on things with our pitch that we had all worked on, or different strategies that I had found since I was kind of the first one to go out. And that was really exciting because they were then equipped with a little bit more tools in their toolkit than I was first going out. And that was a big change for me, was going from being so worried about approaching these businesses to being so excited to go talk to people and find these relationships and start to form a partnership with these different groups. And it paired really well. I'm in a consulting class right now where I'm working with the boating center, and they ended up being a small sponsor at the event. And I learned so many of these skills through consulting and working with a local business, and I didn't realize how easily they could be transferred into like a sales position where I'm trying to get businesses excited about the event. I think beyond the sales team, some things to focus on were the class dynamic. So I am somebody who really appreciates and values class discussion and class time. And I tried to, even though I was very tired during our classes, I was quite exhausted from doing my day-to-day job. I tried to do my best to contribute and be meaningful during these. And I thought this was a very interesting group of people where people were excited, or classmates were excited about working on this project and contributing. But there was also a strange dynamic between the leadership team really pushing and caring a lot about our event and other groups not caring as much. And I suppose not caring as much isn't a very fair way to put it, because I think everybody is putting their best foot forward. But during class time, I think some people were more dedicated to being very focused than others. In our key topics here, it asks, how did the quarter go for me? And I think with the class periods and working with everybody, it went very well. I enjoyed my time. I feel like I established some new connections within our class and with local businesses, of course, that I wasn't expecting to. But at the same time, I do feel like I learned more about how I work with others, and I learned more about what doesn't work very well for me. I think a lot of the class was talking at the very end during our wrap-ups about how much stress they felt. And that's something that I never really felt during the class. I felt tension, and I noticed other people had tension, and I don't allow that to attribute to my stress levels as much as I think others do. And I think that's something important to note when working in these groups, especially when trying to make an entrepreneurial venture succeed. I'm somebody who values being in a leadership role, even though I didn't take that in this class, and I decided to be more of a passive listener and allow myself to experience what other leaders look like and how they work. And I think that I learned a ton from our leaders because they were very dedicated, but their leadership style did not resonate with me quite as well as others have. And I think that I will internalize that and take it into my own leadership in the future. But overall, I do want to just express my gratitude to everybody in the class for being so dedicated to this project. I think that it was a smashing success, numbers aside. I think all of us learned a ton from it. As we mentioned in class, there were a lot of positive reactions from the presenters themselves. And I think that should be taken to all of our hearts as we wrap up our education, or maybe some of us aren't wrapping up our education. This was a wonderful event that I think a lot of people had fun at, and I think that should be valued really, really highly. And I myself had a ton of fun at this event. This is my second one that I've participated in, and it completely blew the last one out of the water. And I just really want to recognize how much I am proud of our team for working through it, even if maybe not all of us shared the same vision or the exact same means of wanting to go through things. Thank you.